the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to DRL TV. This is the Dynasty Racing League, and tonight we head to Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina for the North Carolina 75. It's the second race in the DRL Winter Oval Series. This is the A-split race. B-split will be ran tomorrow night. And we got a pretty good one in store for you guys tonight. Rockingham, much different from what we had last week. A completely different track. Again, my name's Ryan Branch. I'm joined by David Wellborn. David, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty good tonight, Branch. How you doing?
Not too shabby, man. Long day at work. Ready to get some racing action under our belt here.
Well, I think we're going to have an exciting race here tonight. I do believe it's pretty much going to be maybe 1 or 2 cautions out there. I don't foresee seeing a bunch of cautions, as these gentlemen have got that pretty much out of their system, I believe.
I hope they have, man. Rockingham is an awesome racetrack. I love racing here. I can't wait to get into it tomorrow night when I get a chance to do some racing, but it should be pretty.
Well, you know, this is a tough track, and especially in these cars get really loose really quick. I did some testing here this afternoon. Pit window is going to be about 40 laps. If you can make it 40 laps, you can do it on 1 stop.
We are going to roll through the starting grid here. Got Nathan Jurgensen. He is on the pole in that 31 car. Jonathan Schwartz is starting second. Mark Emerson takes the 3rd spot on the inside there. Matt Kleinschmidt in 4th. Steve Turner will hold the 5th position in the 13 car. Logan McNally 6th. Brian Kaufman runs in the 7th spot. John Mullins 8th. You got John Theodore in that 89 car in the 9th spot. Chris James in 10th. PJ O'Leary 11th. Richard Lucky in 12th. Christopher Pope, the 13th position. Carl Dotson in the 14th on the outside. Spencer Tard inside in the 15th position in that 28 car. Ryan Berry is going to start 16th. Jim Westerfield 17th. Bill Edwards 18th. Ryan Hesgard in the number 2 will start 19th. Brandon Dalton 20th. Nicholas Lavelle starts in the 21st position, and John Dubuque is going to start 22nd. We have Seth Noel starting in 23rd, and that's going to round out the field. Those last 2 drivers I don't think are actually competing here tonight.
Yeah, I believe they forgot to get their application in on time, and I believe they were removed from the server. Is that correct?
As far as I know, yes, that is correct.
It's why it's so important, if you want to run these races in DRL, that you get your applications in. You have a whole week to do it, so I don't see why this is an issue.
Yeah, they made it a little easier for this Winter Oval Series. Hopefully that'll also go into next season, but the guys can kind of put in multiple applications at once. But regardless, that's just league nonsense. We do have a nice field here tonight with 23 drivers taking the start of this race, and the 31 of Nathan Jurgensen is going to lead them into the first corner as the pace car's lights are off. He's going to pull down pit road, and we're going to go green flag racing.
Now, I don't know if you normally do picks or not, but I'm just going to go ahead and say my pick here tonight. I think we're going to have to watch out for some of these new gentlemen, Nathan Jurgensen, Mark Emerson, but I think I'm going to go with Stephen Turner in that 13 car.
Steve Turner was real quick during practice. I know that's a fact. A lot of these guys up towards the front are all very, very close in lap times, so it's going to be an exciting one. We have who's that, the
Schwartz, Jurgensen, Emerson,
Emerson
Turner,
doing a little blinking already here tonight. Blinking in and out in that number 23 car.
That beautiful. Is sharp.
Logitech yellow car, pretty good looking vehicle. I like the color.
I like it too.
And Jonathan Schwartz gets the easy pass on Jurgensen, and he is now out leading this pack. Jonathan Schwartz, one of our Cup drivers from last year, raced really, really well with us in that A series. So these K&N cars a little easier to handle than some of those bigger ones, eh, David?
Oh yeah, a lot easier. But I mean, like I said, these cars get really, really slick the further you go. Like I said, I did some testing here. And it looks like the 95 of Carl Dotson just got rear-ended, I think, by the 75 of Bill Edwards.
We are pretty much out the single file towards the front of the field. We'll move our way back here, try to catch some of this closer racing in the rear of the field. The 44 there I believe that's, who's that in the 44s? Logan McNally in this one. Gets around on the inside. I wonder which way is the best way to pass here tonight, inside or out, as these cars come down side by side into the corner. Obviously, that inside car is having a better time getting in. And Brian Kaufman getting kind of the short end of the stick there, being passed by a few cars as he can't manage to drop down. Now John Theodore is going to come up and replace that position on the low side. So Kaufman being shuffled back in the field.
That is a sharp car, that Grizzly car. But going back to the question that you presented, if you can manage your tires early, I'm going to say the inside line is going to be the way to go. But after you get about 15, 20 laps on these tires, you'll be able to roll through a little bit more, as we do already have a yellow.
Looks like that was Nicholas Lavelle in that number 83 Reese's car. We'll go back and check the replay, maybe see what happened to him here. See Lavelle there on the inside line. Comes down to the inside of the 15, and he just gets the car loose coming out of the corner. Can't hold on to it. Does keep it, it looks like, out of the wall. So awesome work on the 83's part there to keep the car from running into the wall and collecting additional damage, but it does bring out the first caution of the night.
That was some good hands moments right there. If you wreck here and not hit the wall, I mean, you did some really good driving, as this is pretty much a self-cleaning track.
Yeah, that was an all-state moment. We got Jonathan Schwartz, Nathan Jurgensen, Mark Emerson. Looks like everybody's going to go ahead and roll down pit road here.
That's probably not a bad call, as if you come down now, then you can pretty much set 35 and 35 for your stops, and you won't have to make one more stop. I'm hoping that maybe we'll get a really good long green flag run in here and force these drivers to have the green flag pit stop here tonight.
Oh, I think we're going to get a decent-sized run. I don't know if we'll get the green flag pit stops or not, as, you know, one or two drivers I think are going to spin out. As you said earlier, the cars do get loose, and we already saw it there, trying to turn a little too hard to the left, the 23. Or I'm sorry, not the 23, but who was that? The 83 of Nicholas Lavelle, just already spinning the car out, only 7 laps in here tonight. So
now, is this the league, or is this the series that does not offer a fast repair, or do these gentlemen still have a fast repair?
Yeah, so they do get a fast repair here in the Winter Series. We did put it in. There's been discussion about removing it moving forward, pending the results of tonight and tomorrow night's races. Some of the guys just feel like, you know, people use that fast repair as just a freebie at the beginning of the race, and it kind of turns a 75-lap race into a 50 because the first 25 laps is just caution after caution. So I think that just had a lot to do with the fact we were at Daytona last week, a little bit caution heavy on that race, and we'll see how the rest of the night goes, and you know, go from there. But these guys will have a fast repair for this evening.
Well, how about old Hesgard? He started this race 9th. He decided to stay out this round, and he has moved himself into first position. The same with PJ O'Leary. Not a bad call by these drivers. They're probably going to stick to their pit plan.
Yeah, I mean, eight laps in here, didn't feel like he needed to pit necessarily, or he was uncomfortable hanging out there in the back, as, again, when you go single file, it's not easy to pass at Rockingham, so you know, you get stuck back there, and there's not a whole lot of places to go. But we'll see if it creates problems for, you know, the 58, the 31, the 23 as they try to get around these guys.
I don't think 10 laps is going to make that big of a difference, but like you said, track position is everything, especially here at the Rock.
Pace car is off, and Hesgard already off to a nice quick start there, not waiting for the line or the green flag whatsoever. He goes as soon as that pace car comes down pit road.
I like that call.
PJ O'Leary drops up to the high side, and he's going to get passed by multiple drivers.
3 wide.
So O'Leary,
around him.
All the way back to 5th position already. Stuck way out there on the high side, so maybe he just didn't mean to stay out, as he's getting out of everybody's way. He knows he's on older tires, but back up to the front, Ryan Hesgard is not going to do the same. He was the odds-on favorite to win the B-Series earlier this season, and he's out there racing with Mr. Schwartz on 8-lap older tires right now.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Schwartz has a spotter. Mike Springer, I think he's spotting for Mr. Schwartz here tonight. As I'm searching through the grid here, it looks like Matthew Kleinsmith is doing battle with Stephen Turner. Kleinsmith all the way up to the wall.
Oh, and another wreck already.
Looks like Spencer Tart. Spencer Tart's definitely involved in this.
Spencer Tart in that number 28 car. You see him sliding down onto the apron there. Back and see if we can see exactly what happened to Mr. Tart.
Well, 82 of Chris James really gets hard into the wall. Everybody makes it clear, and it looks like the 7 gets into Tart, and just nobody has any place to go.
Yeah, Spencer Tart slows way down. Christopher Pope in that number 7 car, he did see an opening there at the bottom of the track, tried to take it, and then Spencer Tart comes down right into him. So I don't know who was in the wrong there. Seemed like Pope was just carrying way more speed than the 28 of Tart. So go back one more time and see if we can see this from a little better view here.
I think a lot of people got scared there with
oh yeah, the 82 of Chris James slowed everybody down. That number 7 was right back in it, and yeah, Tart just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but that 7 doesn't let off the gas and does get into the back of Tart as well, spins him around pretty good. So I think that's going to be fast repair gone for both of those drivers already tonight.
Well, the one thing that's good about fast repairs is when they tear their cars up early, they get that fast repair, but then it kind of slows their momentum down as far as driving wild and crazy, because you know in the back of your mind you can't bend that car up anymore. If you do, you're going to be spending a lot of time on pit road.
Yeah, we had Richard Lucky with 25 seconds down there. Brian Kaufman's been in for over 25. Same with PJ O'Leary already. Carl Dodson, Chris James, and Seth Noel all down on pit road for over 20 seconds. So I don't know. I think Hesgaard's kind of in a precarious position here. He decided to stay out, so now he is on 14-lap-old tires, and the next 8 drivers behind him also elected to stay out this time. So they're on about 7 laps, and once again, Mr. Schwartz, who was leading that race prior, is all the way back in 10th now. First car with those fresh tires.
Well, I still like this call with staying out. Stick to your plan. He may fall back a little bit, but 14 laps into a run, I mean, seriously, I wouldn't come in either. I'd wait until we hit at least the 25 mark, because that puts me that much closer into my pit windows to where I only have to stop one time.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of padding in between him and Jonathan Schwartz now as well. However, Nathan Jurgensen, Steve Turner, and Mark Emerson, all very fast drivers, all on about half as many laps on the tires than Hesgaard has. So we'll see what happens here on the restart. Hesgaard's going to take the outside line.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I don't know. I don't think I like that call. I would have liked to stayed on the bottom, but hey, he knows something more than I do.
I think he'll get out to a nice quick jump here again when the pace car drops. He's going to nail it, and hopefully he can beat Jurgensen to the first corner and get inside.
I think maybe that was a tire spin issue to keep him from spinning his tires. He probably knows a little bit more about these cars than I do. I don't run these cars a lot.
Well, that puts him to the outside against the wall going into 1, so he can get a nicer dive into that corner. He's not forced into the bottom side of it, and that way he didn't have to scrub off as much speed. He still did easily beat Jurgensen and Turner off the line, so which you typically expect from the leader early in these races. Spencer Tart down on pit road still for 76 seconds, so starting to question whether he actually did get a fast repair or not.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. If all these drivers, I know half of them went to elected not to take it.
The server, so I think that is the end of the night for Spencer Tart.
So maybe the Liggett men's didn't set the fast repair here tonight?
Not 100% sure. We will find out. We'll get back to you, but that could just be anger on Spencer Tart's part, not satisfied with the way that went. Decided to back out, but and yet again, we have another caution flag, so this is shaping up to be very similar to what we had at Daytona last week.
Brandon Dalton was involved in that.
Brandon Dalton there in the number 85 car. Let's get a look at him. He goes down to the inside, barely gets rubbed, and just loses control of the car. So very close, tight racing by all those guys, and Dalton just couldn't do anything to avoid it. You know, he rubbed, and then he lost the car. So the tail end of that, I did see the 75 of Bill Edwards also got into a little bit of a scuffle. See maybe what happened to him.
I think he breaks loose.
Yeah, the 44 and the 85 were just battling hard. Actually, I don't know. Did the 75 get hit? I think he might have just got straight up turned.
Now he grabs the wall on the outside, sends him down to the bottom.
Brandon Dalton, that was 100% his fault. He got into that corner a little bit too hard, and yeah, the 75 just making contact with the wall on the exit of that corner, so it's going to do him in, and Brandon Dalton kind of did himself in as well. He got stuck down there on pit road, actually hit the wall, had to pull the car out of pit road and back out onto the track, so.
I think Hesgard finally came in, did he not?
Ryan Hesgard did elect to finally pit. He's going to be on fresh tires, and now the top 6 drivers all on 12-lap tires. So Christopher Pope, one of those guys, caused that very first caution up there in the 6th position.
Well, I'm not seeing too many damaged cars out here past the 12th position. Actually, I think I have to go all the way back to 17th before I see a damaged car.
Yeah, we're 20 laps in out of 75. Just need to see some patience from these drivers. Let the field thin out a little bit and get single file, and then make your moves after that with some race moves. You know, the racing has been tight. It's been very, very close, but just the minor things like the 85 there barely got up into the 44 and just could not hold on to the car afterwards.
Well, I can tell you right now, if this thing does get single file and everybody gets starting to run their grooves, we should have a really good race going and get that green flag run in.
Well, your buddy Mr. Turner up there, your prediction, per se, is running in the 1st position, so well done by him, running out there in 1st. But again, Hesgard, 10th position right now, kind of like Schwartz was on that last restart on fresh tires. So.
Well, I may be good at predicting races, but this race isn't over yet, so we still got a lot of racing to go.
Yeah, not yet to the halfway point. Already 3 cautions in.
And you can never count out Hesgard or Kleinschmidt, Jonathan Schwartz. You know, these gentlemen, they put the time in week after week, especially Hesgard. I know he puts a lot of time in to run these races. All the S2R drivers do. Lights are out on the pace car. We got one more lap to go. Somebody asked what the track temperature is. Hang on, I'll take a quick look at it.
Yeah, you're going to have to look at that one. I got all them graphics shut off so I can pull up these beautiful ones that Mr. Wenzel's made for us. But
all right, ladies and gentlemen, it is partly cloudy at 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Our track temperature is 97 degrees, and we are working with roughly 6-mile-an-hour winds out of the east.
Yeah, so 97 degrees out there. Yeah, I mean, car's not going to be easy to hang on to. Even just the tiniest bump and the back end goes loose, and it's very hard to gather back up.
It's pretty slick. You know, anything right around 95 or higher, it's going to cause these rear ends to get really loose.
Back green flag racing. Steve Turner takes the green flag in the 1st spot.
And I noticed he elected to take the outside as well.
Yeah, same thing Hesgard did on the last restart. The 31 gets down there and drops to the inside, putting Mark Emerson behind him. Got Ryan Berry on the outside, raced really, really well last week. I think Ryan Berry almost took the victory last week. I think it was overturned by race control or by the admins of the league after the race for faulty timing on iRacing's part, but he still collected 2nd. Has been very, very good. And now he's up running in the 3rd position, kind of wishing the 31 would get out of his way almost.
Yeah, we went back and reviewed that several times, and yeah, he was clearly in front of who did we think it was?
Well, I think Barry didn't get the win. I think it was that Eric guy, and I don't even know if he's in the race tonight, that ended up getting the win. But
right, but the number 7 was clearly in front of him.
Yeah.
And both before and after the yellow flag, it was really close to monitor that back. iRacing failed to throw the yellow when the caution come out, and there was some discrepancy of where the cars were actually at the beginning of the wreck. So after review, we went back and awarded Ryan Berry the win.
Actually, you know, I don't even know if I don't know if it was Ryan Berry. Ryan Berry was the one who was up front leading. He's the one who threw the block in that outside lane halfway through that race and kind of caused a bit of a stack up. But either way, I know he came home with a second or third place finish last week. Maybe he was the one we moved into the winning position. But I'm gonna go check the results of that race and see if I can correct myself here. But I know he was racing out front at Daytona pretty much the entire time.
It was a close race, that's for sure. How about Hesgard? He's moved his way all the way back up into the 5th position after restarting in 10th. So he's on the move.
Well, Dynasty Racing League is currently down. Check that out. Pending some verification process. Hopefully James gets that all ironed out. But we're now 29 in out of 175. Things have thinned out here. Only 4 drivers even remotely close to each other at the front of this pack. Still Steve Turner, Nathan Jurgensen, Ryan Berry, and Mark Emerson. And then you go back to that 5th position where, as you just mentioned, Ryan Hesgard has moved himself into that spot. Just behind him is Jonathan Schwartz. But again, Schwartz was ahead of Hesgard at the beginning of this restart. Hesgard on 6-lap fresher tires. So Hesgard will be looking to track these guys down with much, what, he's got 12-lap fresher tires than that top 5. He should be able to get to him in no time.
He's definitely gaining on Barry for sure.
Jonathan Schwartz not giving him any space, staying right to his bumper, pushing the number 2 pretty hard here. That's another thing I think we'll run into at least 1 or 2 more times tonight. When these guys just get into that real close racing scenario, you make even the tiniest extra checkup and you're bound to collect the bumper of the guy behind you. So
Nicholas Lavelle just popped the wall. Didn't bring out the yellow, but it happened right in front of him somewhere. Not exactly sure. Maybe Chris James.
Started slowing very quickly. PJ O'Leary, he's just blinking in and out. Bill Edwards is down on pit road right now. Ryan Kaufman's currently in the last position, so who did you say it was?
I'm still looking.
It's Lavelle. Let's go back and watch from this point.
Maybe Carl Dodson.
Oh, you know what? It was a green car. What's that?
95 with Carl Dodson.
Yeah, it was Carl Dodson. Let's I caught it right at the end there. We'll watch this again.
Yeah, he goes to avoid the 83. And it's still not him. Let me get the blimp view and see if I can't figure this out.
So the 83 is losing it up there. Hits the wall a couple times. See if we can maybe see why he did that. So that had nothing to do with what brought out the caution that I know of.
I still can't see it.
Oh, here it is. It's right up in front of them. Watch one more time, guys. We're going to figure this out. Happens right up in front of PJ O'Leary. Had to be like Matt Kleinschmidt. Oh, wow. That was the numbers. Was that the number 7 car? That was the number 7 of Chris Pope. All right, we're going to watch this from the chopper view. Chris Pope is the one who ended up getting spun down there to the inside. I'm not positive why that even brought a caution out, as he easily corrected it and kept the car going straight. But one more time, we're going to watch from Christopher Pope's view here. He's got the 56 just behind him, the 15, the 59. And it looks like the 56 went just inside, and Chris Pope turned right down into him. So, I don't know, maybe spotter not letting him know that somebody was there, but Chris Pope did try to turn into that corner right as the position was being taken. And that got him sideways. And I guess maybe it's the fact that he did that, and then, you know, the wall was hit behind him by Nicholas Lavelle that just caused the caution to be thrown. Now we've got Carl Dodson, the guy we were just talking about, who was behind all of that. He's out in the front because he didn't come down for tires.
I think the reason the caution come out is because that car was completely sideways when the 56 tagged him, turned him completely sideways to the point to where he may have even actually got 2 incident points for lost control, as there's no damage to his car. I don't see any. Everybody come down except for Carl Dodson, it looks like.
Yeah, I just said that, David.
Well, I know that, but I'm looking at Carl Dodson. He's got 15 laps on his tires. Everybody else has got 2, and he's got a damaged car. I just think he's going to start going backwards here really quick, as the front end and the back end of Mr. Dodson's car is kind of boogered up a little bit.
Yeah, a little dent. You know, I had the same issue last week when I was racing at Daytona. It didn't really affect me, so we'll see if that's just visual or if Mr. Dodson causes a little bit of a backup here at the beginning of this one. But he's got Ryan Berry just behind him and Ryan Hesgard, so little train of Ryans right behind him that are definitely going to want him out of the way.
And again, he elects to take the outside and gets a really good start there.
Yeah, it seems to be what everybody's wanting to do, but I don't know. He's just not able to hold on to it, getting very, very loose down there on the inside. Great work by Steve Turner, gets around him quite handily. And we're going to have to keep an eye on Dodson here as he's a little out of sorts, having to enter into the corner really, really low. And that can cause accidents just in itself. Got John Theodore just behind him.
When you catch the apron like that, you got your hands full to keep that car from spinning around on you.
Yeah, you do, and it still seems, you know, every time he goes around one of these corners, the car behind him is just catching up to him quick. Theodore going to try to take the inside. Dodson's having none of it. Not really giving him much room. And I know Theodore's saying, get out of the way right now.
Well, I don't believe Theodore will move him out of the way like some other drivers would. But
every one of these straightaways, the 89 trying to get down to the inside, he finally does get to the inside of the 95 going to the corner, and as they carry through the corner, those inside cars are just going to be faster, period. So it looks like we just had, I think that was the 027 of Brian Kaufman. He's going to come down pit road, so I can look and see what happened to him.
He's experienced some technical issues with some blinking going on for sure.
Yeah, he just ran through a wall on my screen. So
Stephen Turner's definitely pulling away. Got almost a half a second lead over Barry as Barry continues to do battle.
Oh, and the 23 into the outside wall, down to the inside. That was the 31 of Nathan Jurgensen, so he's not going to be happy after that one. Hopefully he has that faster pair. Ryan Hesgard barely manages to avoid that wreck, and Nathan Jurgensen, as far as I know, is the highest I rating in this race right now. So was doing very well up front all evening, running inside the top 5, and see if he gets a little bump here as we go back and watch that one more time.
So he just turned hard left when the yellow car or whatever car that was hits the wall. Kind of just overcorrected there.
He was just trying to avoid the 23 there of Mark Emerson tapping the wall. 31. I don't know. That could have been netcode too. Maybe the 2 got into him on his screen because I mean he turned straight left. We'll see if the 2 has any damage on the front. He does not. So I mean that for the car to turn that sharp to the left, I don't even know if there's enough wheel to put into it to make it do that. That could have been a little bit of netcode, David.
He gets tagged by the 45, the 23 does, before going out of this turn. 45 goes up underneath him.
Not quite sure how Hesgard was able to avoid that. Got into the brakes real quick and didn't run into the back of anybody. But again, for whatever reason, I feel like that was a little bit of netcode, and iRacing thought that a 31 was hitting the rear by the 2 car. Because he went way too sharp to the left to have just done that with the wheel.
Yeah, the 23 definitely net coated the front end of him and sent him down to the wall. That's for sure. Because, like you say, it was just too sharp of a turn for him to make that hard left-hand turn to the inside fence there.
So Nathan Jurgensen is on pit road now for 52 seconds, so I'm going to guess that he does not have a fast repair. Brian Kaufman's been down there since before this caution came out. Kleinschmidt is on pit road. Chris James is on pit road. Oh, with a little bit of fake there. Steve Turner up in the front, 10 laps on the tires. If he would have went in, everybody would have followed suit. The 45 of Ryan Berry and the 2 of Ryan Hesgaard also faking, but nobody goes down. Get those pits up towards the front. So we still have 9 drivers with 10 laps on the tires, and once again Jonathan Schwartz is going to be the first guy in there with fresh tires in that number 58 car. So a little bit of different pit strategy back and forth. I think a late race caution is really gonna hurt these top 9 drivers, but if we get another caution within 5-6 laps or so, it's just gonna help them.
Well, I'm looking, and I believe at this point right now, the top 9 drivers have made their bed and they're going to stay in it, as they can make it from here. But I'm believing that maybe the fast repairs was not initiated accidentally on this race or something, because no one has seemed to have been in pit road and fixed any of the damage quickly. So I'm going to assume, since we've not had any confirmation, that the fast repair was not initiated for this race for some reason. But it's been an awesome race here tonight, for sure. Some close battles going on, plenty of lead changes happening, and the what gets me is the outside restart. I mean, normally you don't see the drivers do that, take the outside, as we got 1 lap to go for our next restart here. We've got the 2 new drivers of Stephen Turner and Ryan Berry, along with Mark Emerson, Ryan Hesgaard, and Jim Westerfield is running out our top 5. Yeah, Lou, I do believe it was a major net code issue there, bud.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that had to be it. So these cars are going to double up again, and Steve Turner once again, that's your pick, David. Still doing very well, 45 laps in out of 75. And if you don't mind being quiet for a couple minutes, Mr. Wellborn, we are going to crank up the noise for this restart.
They are restarted, bud. Go live.
Uh-oh. I guess we're not going to do that. We'll get another chance to do that in just a second. I was still under replay there.
I think P.J. O'Leary just made that yellow flag come out. His car is toast.
So what happened there where Steve Turner just got passed almost instantly? I'm going to go back and show this replay to everybody on stream who didn't get to see the restart here. Oh, I apologize for that. Don't ruin nothing yet, David. We're watching the restart so we can see what happened. So Steve Turner out to a nice quick start. Somehow he gets replaced when this caution flag flies. Oh yeah, the 45 actually manages to get down inside of him before turn 1. So that's going to back Steve Turner up. He gets a little afraid of the wall, lets off the gas a hair. The 23 gets a run on him down that front straightaway. He's got the 2 of Hesgaard just on his tail. And, oh, wow, that's a big one that happened behind as the caution does come out. That is how Steve Turner did end up in the 3rd position. But if you can point me to the best place to watch that action, David, who was it?
P.J. O'Leary.
All right.
I ain't going to tell you what happens, but it's awesome.
Go check Mr. O'Leary out.
It's one of my wow moments.
There's that number 8 car, P.J. O'Leary, down on the inside of the 58 of Jonathan Schwartz, getting very, very close. Tight racing by these guys. He also gets a run down the straightaway. Oh, he tries to stay out of the 64 there. John Mullins is not able to do it in time. The car gets completely flipped around. That collected a lot of drivers. I think Matt Kleinschmidt, the 59, actually made it through that clean, but John Mullins cannot be happy about that one, as P.J. O'Leary just straight up got into his rear.
Well, there's also the 56 involved with that as well, of John DeBoot, if I don't think I'm saying that right.
I didn't see the 56 at all. I mean, the 56 went down to the inside and got away with that, did he not?
Hold on, I'm going back.
Yeah, the 56 was nothing. The 58 of Jonathan Schwartz got touched a little bit, but I don't think he received... Oh, yeah, he received a decent amount of damage, so Schwartz is going to need to come in and maybe get some repairs. Looks like he's going to end up staying out, but back into his car all dinged up. John Dubuque, it looks like he made it through that nice and clean, so...
So I guess I did say it right, Dubuque.
Yes, sir. As far as I know.
Oh, you know what? It looks like the 85 starts all of that by getting into the back end of a vehicle. And the 85, of course, is Brandon Dalton. But, you know, I don't know. It's just so much going on right there with the accordion effect. It's kind of hard to say who did what.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure I saw exactly who did what. P.J. O'Leary rammed the back of the 64 of John Mullins. That's all there was to it. That began the whole thing. Pulled a, what's his name there?
Let's just leave it at what's his name.
Yeah, he pulled a one of them guys.
Yeah, one of them guys.
Maybe saw that a few times there towards the end of the regular season. So.
Well, that turns the lead back over to Ryan Berry, with Mark Emerson being second, Stephen Turner and Ryan Hesgard running in our fourth position. So.
Yeah, Turner's going to get that start on the inside, you know, back there in third. But we saw basically the mistake there on Steve Turner's part on that last restart. He didn't, I guess, fake out the second place driver good enough. He didn't get a good enough jump, and the 45 was able to stick the nose in before turn one. And we're going to see here if, wow, as the 23 gets a real quick start. Doesn't beat the 45 to the line, but 23 almost jumped that restart.
Yeah, he definitely hit the brakes to keep from jumping that restart there.
He sure did, and that also stacked Steve Turner up a little bit. Hesgard was a little unsure what to do, so...
Well, our top 6 drivers did not come in, so they're all running on 17-lap tires.
They are. Jonathan Schwartz ended up coming down and getting some of those repairs fixed, which I did not think he was going to do. He runs in the 7th position. But you're right, those top 6 guys all been out there for 18 laps now. Things can get interesting here real quick. And another caution flies. Well, ladies and gents, I can't say that this isn't disappointing, but we're going to see what happens to Mr. Pope here.
I believe Christopher Pope is involved, yeah.
Pope down to the inside of the 15.
And
lets off the gas to avoid the wall, and Jonathan Schwartz just plows him in the rear end. So we're seeing a ton of that. Guys just letting off in weird locations and people just ramming them. I mean, I don't understand either. A, I don't understand why Pope was that slow compared to Schwartz, and B, I don't understand why Schwartz didn't get out of the gas and avoid him. I mean, that was a hard hit.
Well, I believe the closing rate here is so fast that the guy checks up just a little bit, and you're right there on him. But, you know, we always say if you hit somebody in the rear, just like driving with your driver's head, it is your fault. So it is your responsibility to check up when somebody else checks up in front of you, or to at least hit the brakes a little bit, and he did neither.
Yeah, there was definitely no checking up by Schwartz there. Absolutely flipping the 7 of Christopher Pope. Sends him right into that outside wall and makes the car do all kinds of nice barrel rolls. But
well, how about Mark Emerson taking over that lead? Stephen Turner currently running in second. You got Ryan Berry.
Just like last time. The first place driver of the last restart ended up in third. So same exact thing that happened to the 13 of Steve Turner.
Well, Ryan Berry's been really doing good since he's come into this league. I know we've only run one race, but he's definitely, you know, showing that he's not a fluke in being up front. And we got Ryan Hesgard, who you can never count out, running in fourth place. I believe the lights will be going out this time by. Getting ready to come to a really quick end to this race. I was really hoping to get that long green flag run in. So we got roughly 21 laps to go in this race. And it's still anybody's race, ladies and gentlemen. Well, even after all of that, Jonathan Swartz's car still looks fairly decent. Got just a little bit of right side damage, but his back end is caved in. I'm hoping that it's just like you say, it's just some graphical issues. As we are set to go back green flag racing, it looks like Emerson is going to elect to take the inside line this time by.
Yeah, Emerson not electing for that outside lane like a lot of the guys on the restarts up front have chosen to do, but also could have not gotten the call in time, as you do need to call that before it's one to go.
I still like the call of staying on the inside. That forces that driver to have to roll through the turns just a little bit more, and when that happens, you know, it can get really slick out there on the top side, especially when you're running around with 22 lap tires. You have to go all the way back to, it looks like Jonathan Swartz with 13 laps on his tires to get the freshest.
Wow, with Mark Emerson out to a blazing start there. As soon as the pace car pulls down, he gets a really easy jump, and nobody is anywhere near him. Got hard racing there by the 45 of Ryan Berry and the 2 car of Hesgard. Berry pulls up in front of him heading into turn 3.
Well, he shot out of there like a rocket. Oh, no.
The 85 of Brandon Dalton gets loose down to the apron.
He saved it.
Able to collect it up, but he is going to be slow in front of the 83. Really going to have to work to avoid each other there. I know Dalton wanted to be right back up onto the racing surface, but his entry into that corner was not ideal. He was forced to enter low. And the 59 here. Oh, and we have a wreck up in front of him as we're watching those guys.
Oh, no. I think it's Mark Emerson.
Mark Emerson was definitely involved, not the only one that was involved in that. Turner and Hesgard made it through. It looks like it's going to be Mark Emerson and Ryan Berry.
Mark Emerson grabs the wall going into the turn there, and oh, the 45 just comes up and drills him like he caught the apron and just sent him right up the track.
Oh, yeah. That front left wheel caught the apron, and that was it. Good night.
Ryan Berry, he took a hard right-hand turn into Berry there and just nowhere to go. I mean, he didn't even see that coming. 1 minute he's driving along just nice and smooth, and the next minute he's eating the fence.
Yeah, I don't think either one of them saw it coming there, so.
Well, that puts my man back up front, Stephen Turner, with about roughly 16 laps to go in this race. I know he's sitting right exactly where he wants to be, but you got to look at the way things have turned out, as Logan McNally is now sitting in second. And guess what? I believe Ryan Hesgard elected to come down pit road to get some fresh tires.
Yeah, Hesgard is going to pull down there. First car out there with no laps on the tires. So I don't know. Maybe, feeling a little bit shaky. Maybe feeling like, some more cautions are going to fly here tonight. I mean, we're only got 16 laps to go, David, but we've seen caution after caution here throughout the evening. We'll see. Well, maybe Hesgard's just banking on 2 more cautions coming out, and maybe some of these other guys going down. But Steve Turner, who's out in front right now, 26 laps on the tires, David.
Well, if he can pull 3 cars for the next 2 yellows, that'll put him back in the top 3. And, with fresh tires like that versus these other gentlemen up here with 27 like Stephen Turner and Logan McNally and Jonathan Swartz with 18, I believe he would stand a better advantage at doing that. He probably thinks the same thing that I just said, that tires here at this late stage with 15 laps to go, to be about 14 to go when we restart this race. And Hesgard wants this win. Ryan Berry took significant damage as he's still on pit road for over 99 seconds.
And PJ O'Leary down there for about 32 seconds now. Brian Kaufman's been down there a while. Jurgensen's still getting repairs to the car. And Bill Edwards has been down there for most of the race. So I think he's 13 laps down. But he does stand a chance to gain a couple positions here, as Jurgensen's 12 laps down, Brian Kaufman 11. So those other guys I just talked about, all 3 of them, they all want to stay up on that, I say lead lap. They want to get back out there and run at the tail end of this field on the restart and not get lapped again, because they're only a lap away from losing a position. So.
Well, PJ O'Leary got out in front of that pace car, so he's definitely trying to stay on the lead lap, that's for sure.
Yes, sir. He's running out there. Car heavily damaged. Scrapes down the left. The front bumper's all dinged up, but he will be able to get back around and start at the tail end of this field.
All right, let's crank this thing up for the restart, as we got a request for it.
All right, here we go, boys. Oh, guys, I think I had my mic muted there. Ryan Hesgard doing some crazy driving coming into that one. Got around a couple of those drivers. Steve Turner having a really difficult time holding off Jonathan Schwartz here in the number 58 car. And we are 5 laps to go. We'll see if the 58 has what it takes. He is on 10-lap fresher tires than Steve Turner is, so Jonathan Schwartz definitely going to have to make a push in order to get that position. And you also have Ryan Hesgard back here in 6th, just wishing these guys would get out of his way. John Theodore in the 89 kept the car clean all night long, and he has snuck his way into a top 4 position right now, so not going to be easy for the two of Hesgard, but he is on much, much fresher tires than these guys, and he might have what it takes to make it happen.
I know Ryan would not be too disappointed here with the top 5 finish, but this battle up front between Turner and Schwartz is going to be playing out all the way to the end as the yellow flag does fly, and that is going to be our race, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, 2 weeks in a row, we don't get to have these guys battle it out to the last second. I really wish iRacing would give us the option to do a green-white checker, because it would have been exciting to watch, but that is going to conclude the race. Let's go back and see if we can find out who wrecked and where they did it.
Brandon Dalton, I believe, is going to be our caution as they are 3 wide and gets turned by the 33. Just not a smart racing move there by Mr. Dalton.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Watch that one more time for you guys. Running just behind the 33, sticks the nose in there, but touches the apron. They do make it 3 wide, and Brandon Dalton comes up to try to take the corner and go down low again. So it wasn't clear. Maybe the spotter said he was. He pulled up, and we had that happen. That's the second time tonight where just minor spotter mistakes. You know, the guys miss it by half a second.
That's where a real spotter comes in, and you can turn the computer spotter off.
Yeah, I mean, the computer spotter, very, very good. You know what I mean? For a simulator, by all means, it's not a... doesn't do a bad job, but it takes, you know, they say clear. They literally mean you're clear in that millisecond. That doesn't mean you're clear 2 milliseconds later, once your brain's processed the info, nothing. They say it the millisecond that you're clear, and sometimes it can cause issues if the guy has any more speed than you.
Well, that's why I like my VR. I can always look myself in the rearview mirror or look at right or left and not have to worry about it. So,
well, guys, we're going to let these guys finish this up. I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back for some interviews. We'll be back in just a moment.
Cool.
in the outside, contact made, 56 slides in at a 4, who's going to be at the stripe, dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
And guys, we are back. We're going to run through these unofficial results real quick. Steve Turner comes away with the victory in that number 13 car. Mr. Wellborn predicting that one correctly with 42 laps led. Jonathan Schwartz barely unable to get to the 13. Maybe if he had those last couple laps, he would have had another opportunity. But Schwartz comes away with a second-place finish after leading 7. Nicholas Lavelle is going to finish in 3rd. 4th goes to John Theodore. 5th position to Logan McNally. Ryan Hesgard is going to finish 6th. Oh boy, I got crazy camera views turned on here. John Dubuque is going to finish 7th. 8th position goes to Carl Dotson. 9th to Jim Westerfield. And 10th to Matthew Kleinschmidt. The 11th position belongs to Richard Lucky. 12th, Seth Noel. 13th, Chris James. The 14th position goes to the 7 of Christopher Pope. 15th, John Mullen. 16th, PJ O'Leary in that number 8 car. 17th to Brandon Dalton. 18th, Ryan Berry. 19th, Bill Edwards. 20th to Nathan Jurgensen after his night was ended early. I'm sure he's not very happy how that one went. Brian Kaufman finishes 21st. Mark Emerson 22nd. 23rd, Spencer Tart. And again, those last 2 drivers actually did not compete this evening as they were missing forms or they were just unable to connect. I don't know, David, that was a heck of a race. Let's go down to the track and grab somebody for an interview. Let's go ahead and grab our winner, Steve Turner.
You know, at this point, I think maybe I start gambling a little bit better as I can pick the winners of races.
Hey, Steve Turner, it's Ryan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Hey, man, you came away with a win. Mr. Wellborn picked you to start that when you were the fastest car in practice, and you came out here and showed us what you had, man. How's it feel?
Actually quite surprised we got the win. Didn't feel as good as qualifying as I did in practice, but just used some pit strategy there. I felt like on the longer run, track position was a little more important than tires to an extent. So I think I had about 9-lap older tires than most of the guys behind us. Schwartz and I were side by side there for a full lap and a half, beating and banging almost. It was quite a fun race. So real happy to come out with a W here.
Well, your math was very good. You were 9-lap older tires than Jonathan Schwartz. He was pushing you pretty hard there towards the end. You think if you would have raced it out, he would have had another shot at the win?
Yeah, I think so. If we would have went green, he probably would have got back to me. I don't know if he could have got around me. I was pretty good on the outside those last few laps there. I was surprised I was able to hold him off.
Yeah, definitely tough to pass here, man. Congratulations on your win. You started in 5th. You come away with the victory. How you feeling about next week?
It'll be interesting, that's for sure. I don't have a lot of practice in these K&N cars, so most of the places that we run, I'm running for the first time in this car, so this feels like a pretty good confidence boost now.
Well, great work, sir. Go out and get you some practice this week. Let's hear any shout-outs you got.
Yeah, I would like to give a shout-out to all the guys over in my Twitch chat right now. I had a lot of guys helping me, talking in my ear, kind of crew chiefing me. Shout-out to DRL, putting on the broadcast, putting on the league race. I will see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Thanks, Steve. Have a good night.
You too.
And that was Steve Turner, our winner for this evening in that number 13 car. And now I think up next will be Jonathan Schwartz in the 58. Again, almost caught up to Mr. Turner. That was definitely close, but we're going to grab Mr. Schwartz now. Jonathan Schwartz, you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir, I got you.
Hey, it's Ryan up in the booth. You come away with a second-place finish, man. How you feeling?
Oh, it's great to come out here and race the Winter Oval Series with DRL and all these guys and seeing all these new faces, new drivers.
Yeah, definitely some new guys out there. I think it was top 5 at one point was all fresh guys to the league. So you feel like you could have caught the back of Turner there if you would have got to race those last couple out? I know your answer is going to be yes.
Yeah, I had a good run out of 4 there. I was able to get back to him, but
getting to him and getting around him is a different story, though, right?
Oh, definitely. I definitely tried it earlier and didn't work. But
That's
this
what the
series is
bumper's
just about
for.
racing clean. So, trying to get a feel of how these guys race, and hopefully they'll come out and race Cup, Truck, or Xfinity with us or something. But,
oh yeah, I can't wait, man. It's a good mix. You know, we got a lot of different iRatings and stuff in here. You know, what these guys racing officials versus what they're racing tonight, and I kind of feel like a lot of these drivers just don't put much time in a K&N car at all. So, you know, some of them feel like they can wheel it a little bit better than they can, and, you know, it comes back to bite them. But you took some damage tonight, and you were still able to come away with a second-place finish. Congratulations on that. Will we be seeing you next week at Vegas?
Yeah, I'll definitely be there.
All right, buddy. Well, let's hear any shout-outs you got for anyone tonight.
Oh, just want to thank fellow DRL racer Mike Springer for spotting for me tonight. So we had a good time. So,
there you go, Mr. Springer. Good work.
It was a lot of fun tonight coming back from the damage. But thanks to you guys for broadcasting, and we'll see you next week.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
And that was Jonathan Schwartz. Next, we are going to go grab Nicholas Lavelle. I think this will be our first interview with Mr. Lavelle. Mr. Lavelle, you got a copy, sir?
Yes, sir.
It's pronounced Lavelle, correct?
Lovell, actually.
Lovell. Okay, I've been saying it wrong all night, but I'll correct myself from here on out. Hey, man,
It's all good.
You started 21st. You come away with 3rd. How you feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. I've never raced this car at this track, so 3rd I think is all right. I wrecked myself twice. Felt like it turned out all right.
Yeah, I think you were the first caution of the night, right?
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, there you go. You still come back, get the 3rd place. You going to be back next week for Vegas, man?
Oh, yeah. I actually like Vegas, so maybe I'll do better and won't, cause the first caution.
Well, that's good. Was this your first race, or did you race last week as well? You were in the last week, right?
Yeah, I got wrecked out of Daytona, but yeah, I was there.
Well, how do you feel about the Dynasty Racing League so far?
It's been great. Can't wait to race next week.
That's good, man. Can't wait to see you come back out and I don't know, race for a championship here in the Winter Oval Series. You got any shout outs for anyone tonight?
Yeah, Brady, I love you. You're my boy. I know you listening.
And it's Lovell.
Yes, Lovell, 100%.
All right. Sounds good, man. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for going out there and giving it your all, buddy. We'll see you next week at Vegas.
All right, man. Thanks for talking to me.
All right, bye-bye.
Wow, we're having some quick interviews tonight.
Yes, sir. I got one more for us.
Oh, no.
Ryan
Not a
Hesgard.
Hesgard.
Yeah, it's going to be Mr. Hesgard. We're going to get him in here. Look at him sitting over there in the victory circle. What the hell is he doing that for?
6th place is a victory for him, I think.
Right? Hey, after, pitting, he pit with 16 to go. It was, he moved up quite a bit. So, Ryan Hesgard, you got me?
Yeah, man. Go ahead.
Hey, so you decided to pit with 16 to go. Were you expecting another caution? Did you think you could move back up and put yourself in a place to win it? Or were you just hoping for a top 5 and staying out of trouble?
Both, all 3. I thought we stayed out, 10, 15 laps anyway before that, riding around, and every other caution we were checking laps, and it was, we had 4 or 5% already wore off. So it was a gamble. I thought more guys were going to come with me there, maybe kind of string Steve out, but it didn't happen. So, no harm, no foul. We still got a good, solid top 10 when I couldn't figure this place out. I think I qualified 18th, was 18th in practice. Couldn't figure it out. So I'm not disappointed in 6th. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those tracks. It's just got a very weird line to it. You kind of almost got to be right next to that apron, but the millisecond you touch the apron, the car's gone. So not easy one to drive, that's for sure. So, you said you made a top 10. You almost made a top 5. You got around a couple guys. We cranked it up on that that last restart there, and you battled to, taking it 3 wide, getting around some guys. What was that like? A little nerve-wracking?
No worse than the other 2 incidents that were right in front of me. So, no, I knew I had to be aggressive there. I had the new tires, in order to get back up there, I had to go. So I tried to put myself in the best position I could without, ruining anybody's night. So that worked out good. I haven't had a lot of success in these cars over the iRacing career, but so far here in DRL, it's not too bad of a start.
Yeah, so the one there, when, I don't know if you remember it, you said, 2 wrecks right in front of you. The one where Jurgensen, he wrecked, he took a straight, sharp left. Did you feel contact in the car? Because to me, there's no way that was just him trying to stay out of the 23. There's no way his wheel alone turned him into the wall that hard. There had to be some sort of net code. I don't know if it was you behind him or if it was the 23 in front of him, but did you see any contact there when it was live?
From my vantage point, I was I was kind of close, but I wasn't within touching distance. It looked to me like he just put that left front on the apron and just overcorrected it. It bit and just shot him straight into the wall. I haven't seen the car, usually it does that if you're starting to loop it and you have some sort of indication that you're overcorrecting, but that was a weird one where you just shot straight right. And I don't know how I got through there. I didn't have any contact. At least I didn't have any indication that I had contact. So that was pretty nuts. And then the one before that.
That's the one I'm actually talking about, is the one before that. It was the 31. The 23 was up like riding the wall, and the 31 avoided it, and then the 31 shot to the left wall out of nowhere.
I seen the guy, and I don't remember who they were. I just remember there was a car on the wall, and I knew I was 3 wide. And the next thing I know, there was a car headed towards the infield wall. Yeah. I didn't. Both incidents, I had no indication that I hit anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that one was definitely close. I thought I hit something, but I had no X's or anything like that. No.
So you did finish this race with 0X because your car looks immaculate.
I believe I did.
Wow.
Yeah,
after being that close to some of those, I think John Theodore might have finished with a 0X too. He kept his car clean all night. So
that's the big deal about these cars is there's a lot of aerodynamics that go into them, and if you crumple the nose even a little bit, sometimes it can hurt. It hurts the performance, especially at these high horsepower where we're touching the rev limiter a little bit. So you got to have that aerodynamic, that's for sure.
Well, congrats on top 10 here in the Winter Oval Series. Are we going to see you back next week for Vegas?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. The Winter Series for me is playtime. It's nowhere near as serious as the regular season, but we'll use this time to work on our flaws and work on our patience a little bit, and hopefully we can continue getting the top 10s and top 5s and eventually competing for some.
There you go. That's the right way to think about it. Well, congrats again on top 10, man, and we'll see you next week, buddy.
Thanks, man.
All right, have a good night. That was Ryan Hesgaard, 6th place finisher for this evening. That is going to do it as far as interviews are concerned. David, heck of a race. I mean, a few more cautions than I would have liked to see. I did chat with the admins. Fast repairs were most definitely turned off for this race, so nobody had that free repair like they might have thought they were getting. Frankly, I'd like to see that moving forward, force these guys to race a little bit cleaner. So,
well, this is the Winter Series, and we are not running, like 150, 200 laps. So, I kind of think that maybe we should just keep them off, because if we got fast repairs, that would have doubled the cautions, I think. So, going into our next race tomorrow night that I'll be broadcasting, I'd like to see it continue. No fast repairs. The skippies are different. We don't have cautions, so the fast repair actually comes in handy. But as far as these cars are concerned, with the least amount of laps that we're putting in here, I think no fast repairs is the way to go.
Yeah, we'll see what administration decides, but thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Thanks for watching. We greatly appreciate it. I'm going to run through some credits here, and we're going to let you go. The next broadcast will actually be tomorrow night right back here at Rockingham Speedway. That is going to be for the bottom split of this Winter Series, the Winter Oval Series here with the Dynasty Racing League. I'll be racing in it. I think, David, you'll be broadcasting it, correct?
Yes, sir. I'm broadcasting tomorrow night.
Excellent. So David will be right back here somewhere between 9 and 9:15-ish typically is when he begins. So that's going to be the bottom split. And the next race of this series will, like I said, next week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in Las Vegas, Nevada. It'll be December 18th. Again, I'll probably go live about 9:20, 9:25 or so. And we're going to spin 50 laps there in Vegas and see if the guys can hang on to these cars a little better than they did this evening. So big shout out to everybody involved with the Dynasty Racing League, the owners, James Pandoff, Tater Bowman. Thank you to them, Martin Wenzel and Jordan Gonzalez, for all the graphical work. David, Taylor, Butcher, Benjamin, all those broadcast guys you see up there, Getty Buckner, Jason Taylor, James Pandoff, and even more recently, Eric Weatherholtz, who you see down as a admin for the Pro Series that we run on Sunday nights. Without the guys on the screen here, the Dynasty Racing League, wouldn't be what it is. Most of us all started together, started out with a vision, made things happen, and That's what makes DRL what it is today. And another thing that makes DRL what it is today is the drivers. You know, thank you to all the drivers for showing up, and thank you to all the viewers that watch at home. That's why we put these broadcasts on, is so everybody can see how their favorite drivers are actually doing out here. So, thanks again, guys. We will see you next week. David, you got anything else for the viewers?
Just join in tomorrow night. We're going to have an awesome race again. So look forward to broadcasting again tomorrow night.
And that's it. We will see you then, guys. Have a good one.